8. Steps to choosing a career. Assess yourself. Before you can choose the right career, you must learn about yourself. Your values, interests, soft skills, and aptitudes, in combination with your personality type, make some occupations a good fit for you and others completely inappropriate. Make a list of occupations to explore. You probably have multiple lists of occupations in front of you at this point, one generated by each of the self-assessment tools you used. To keep yourself organized, you should combine them into one master list. Explore the occupations on your list. At this point, you'll be thrilled you managed to narrow your list down to only 10 to 20 options. Now you can get some basic information about each of the occupations on your list. Find job descriptions and educational, training, and licensing requirements in published sources. Learn about advancement opportunities. Use government-produced labor market information to get data about earnings and job outlook. Create a short list. Now you have more information, start to narrow down your list even further. Based on what you learned from your research so far, begin eliminating the careers you don't want to pursue any further. You should end up with 2 to 5 occupations on your short list. Conduct informational interviews. When you have only a few occupations left on your list, start doing more in-depth research. Arrange to meet with people who work in the occupations in which you are interested. They can provide first-hand knowledge about the careers on your short list. Make your career choice. Finally, after doing all your research, you are probably ready to make your choice. Pick the occupation that you think will bring you the most satisfaction based on all the information you have gathered. Realize that you are allowed do-overs if you change your mind about your choice at any point in your life. Many people change their careers at least a few times. Identify your goals. Once you make a decision, identify your long and short-term goals. This helps to chart a course toward eventually landing work in your chosen field. Long-term goals typically take about 3 to 5 years to reach, while you can usually fulfill a short-term goal in 6 months to 3 years. Write a career action plan put together. A career action plan, a written document that lays out all the steps you will have to take to reach your goals. Think of it as a road map that will take you from point A to B, then to C and D. Write down all your short and long-term goals and the steps you will have to take to reach each one.
Listening. Exercise 1. Listen and complete the text. Describe your dream job. I must admit that my dream job has nothing to do with the current job I am doing. I have always wanted to become an event manager for any kind of event, from a conference to a concert. The process of planning and preparing for an event is what I find intriguing and fascinating. I'd probably enjoy working and being trained in such a flexible and dynamic environment that is the event industry. I would like to get to know the behind-the-scene procedure of creating from a small to a mega event. In Saigon, there are a lot of amazing event companies. If I could choose, I'd say Gem Center is the company I'd love to work for. To be able to be an event manager, I need 2 things: a qualification in event management and working experience. My bachelor degree is tourism and event management, so I only need to have more competent working experience in this field to get into the position where I can be hired as an event manager. An event manager is a highly well-organized person who can handle adversity efficiently, so I will need to improve on that part too. Creating an error-free and successful event is my dream, and I'm trying so hard to get to that position where I am competent to work in that position. Exercise 2. Listen and decide true or false for each statement. A job interview is your chance to show that you can satisfy all the requirements of the job you are applying for. That is why it is essential to be well prepared for the job interview. Preparing carefully is the key to success. It means knowing about the industry, the employer, and yourself. It also means paying attention to details like personal appearance, punctuality, and demeanor. Before the interview, you should gather as much information about the industry and the employer as you can. Not only will you appear informed and intelligent, but you will also make a decision if a job offer is eventually made. You might also want to prepare for answering questions by listing some of your attributes. Remember that appearance is very important. You should match your dress to employees in the workplace where you are applying. You should come on time for the interview.
Prepare for IELTS Grade 12, Reading Unit 9, Choosing a Career. Passage 1. The purpose of a resume is to highlight your qualifications and get you an interview. Your resume, along with your letter of application, introduces you to an employer. It lets him/her know who you are and what you can do. A perfect resume highlights the skills you possess that are relevant to the job. A resume can follow a variety of styles and formats, but most contain the same basic information. Identifying information. This section includes basic contact information, including your name, mailing address, phone number, and email address. Objective. This is really just a brief description of your immediate career goals. The key is to keep it short and concise and to make it relevant to the job for which you are applying. If your objective is vague, leave it out. Education. This section details your past and current educational endeavors. List degrees, diplomas, or certificates you have earned or are working on. Start with the most recent facts and work your way back. Include the name of the school, degree, major, date of graduation, and honors or academic accomplishments. Work experience. This is a summary of your work experience. List your most recent or current job first and work your way back. Include your job title, the name and location of the organization, and the dates you worked. Describe your job duties and accomplishments briefly using strong action verbs. Military, intern, and volunteer experiences may be included here or detailed in another section. Volunteer experience. If you have done a lot of volunteer work, list it in its own section. Include where you volunteered and briefly describe what you did and when you did it. Interests and extracurricular activities. This section can be used to highlight skills that were not gained through work or education but are relevant to the job for which you are applying. These may include leadership or teamwork skills you picked up through professional clubs, academic teams, or organized sports. Skills. Use this to highlight special skills you possess that are directly related to the job for which you are applying. This is a good place to detail your computer experience and list the programs you are familiar with. References. This is always the last section of your resume, but references need not actually be included in the resume itself. Passage 2. After your letter of application and resume, the interview is your best opportunity to impress the employer, regardless of your background and experience. To do this, use every possible strategy to develop effective interviewing skills. The best way is to prepare a selective presentation of your background, thoughtful answers to potential interview questions, well-researched questions about the organization, and an effective strategy to introduce yourself. You should also consider your career goals and what the available job offers, so that you can discuss both of these topics with employers. Interviewing is a skill that improves and becomes easier with practice. It is to your advantage to carefully research the job and the organization. There are many ways to do this. You can ask for printed materials from the employer, such as annual reports and job descriptions. This is an entirely proper request, so do not hesitate to make it. Use your library and career center resources. Ask colleagues, friends, and faculty about the organization, and about any personal contacts at the organization they might have. Look at the organization's homepage. Knowing about the job will help you prepare a list of your qualifications so that you can show, point by point, why you are the best candidate. Prepare a clear answer to each of the questions in the interview questions section. Practice answering questions with a friend, or in front of a mirror. Ask your friend to give you constructive criticism on your speaking style, mannerisms, and gestures. As you practice, avoid colloquialisms, such as like and you know. It is important to prepare yourself for talking with complete strangers.